the most capped British hockey player in history, Kate also made history in becoming one half of the only same-sex married couple to win an Olympic medal on the same team. No competition there then. As GB captain, Kate will share how to construct a strong team philosophy, cultivate a collective culture of behaviour, create a sense of common purpose, and inspire a distributed leadership structure. Welcome, Kate.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Sasha. Good afternoon, everybody. It's my absolute pleasure to share a little bit of our world, our story, and hopefully it'll resonate with you. When I spoke to Dan about the theme communication, I had a giggle straight away, because the first thing that sprang to mind was, as a player in the GB hockey team, communication was like buzzword bingo that we would kind of throw out if ever the coach asked a question. Especially those ones who were having a little doze off, it was always a good one to shout out. Now I'm a coach and I hear the players saying it back to me, but actually the more I've reflected on it, the more I absolutely know that actually communication is the answer and the solution to almost all of our problems and all of our issues. It's just taken me a while to fully realise that. And I think when I look back through my career, I think how we use communication to really thrive as individuals and as a collective team. And it also really navigated us out of some really dark times, some really difficult situations. We won an Olympic bronze medal in London 2012, which was just amazing. And we felt like we were riding on a high. And then we had a couple of really difficult years. We had a lot of change to manage, some real uncertain times. The pressure started to grow and everything started to crumble. All that brilliant culture that we'd created from 2009 to 2012 just started to deteriorate. And our coach, who'd empowered us back in 2009, Danny Kerry, to drive, to build, to own our culture from the foundations up, to build our vision, to build our values, to build our behaviours, to own them, to drive them, to take responsibility for them. When he came back in 2015, we were a wounded group. We were in a difficult place, and everything that we did from that point on was centred around communication. As a group of 31 players and our staff, as I said, we were empowered to build our culture. And so our vision for the Rio Olympic Games was be the difference, create history, inspire the future. And the values that underpin that were: we are one team, we are winners, be alive. And communication was woven through all of those values and that vision entirely. It wasn't just about talking, it was about listening, it was about our body language, it was about all those external bits of communication that we maybe subconsciously are just picking up every single day in and amongst that group. Because we've been in that difficult, dark period for a couple of years, we needed to be really explicit with each other about what we meant by those values. As has already been said by Tim, there's no good having lovely things on a wall. This needed to live and breathe in absolutely everybody for this to work. And so we talked and discussed and debated and argued and passionately fought for what we believed the most pertinent behaviours were that would underpin those values. And we created our behaviour statements. And I'm going to share with you now our behaviour statement for We Are One Team. Just listen out to all of the references to communication. We are one team. We respect each other. We accept differences. It's okay to listen. You don't have to talk. We belong to one team. I've got your back and you've got mine. We stand in this bubble together. Belong now, belong forever. There is no bullshit and there are no excuses. I'm connected to you. We wear the same kit. We're tight. We talk to each other. We share with each other. We stamp out fires early. Talk to me. Listen to me. We share the load. Together, we have strength. We are one team. I get goosebumps. I can't tell you how many times I've read that. I can do it off by heart, but it looks a bit weird. But it gives me goosebumps every time I read that out, because I'm remembering moments, instances, conversations between players or members of staff or between a group where those behaviours were not on a page anymore. They were in real life. They were us. They were in us. They were part of us. You could see it and hear it and feel it in everything that we did. And one of the behaviours I think particularly stuck out for me when I thought about communication, and it's we stamp out fires early. Because every group of every size has tiny little sparks being set off on a daily basis, and we actively want and need those sparks. We need that diversity of thought, we need that difference of opinion to get the best solutions and get the best outcomes. So whilst we were actively trying to seek that out, we also realised that we needed to create space for those differences, to really make sure that everybody had the opportunity to be heard, to be listened, to be understood, so we could get the best out of everybody in that group and therefore get the best out of the team. So we talked in every which way you can possibly imagine. We were listened to. We had players meetings without staff. We had loads of meetings with our staff. We had a leadership group that was voted in by the team to lead on our culture. We would meet on a regular basis. Each of us would have a buddy group, 5 or 6 players that was strategically chosen so that we could meet in a more intimate setting, creating those safe spaces where people feel they could be absolutely themselves, be vulnerable, be honest, be open. And that's exactly what we wanted for everybody in that team. And it was really challenging, brilliant, and I miss it, probably the thing I miss the most, but those elements were everything in that team. Going into Rio, this helped us more than I could ever imagine. We decided as a group, so the squad that was selected out of that 31 decided to come off social media for the 2 weeks of the Olympics. So actually to keep our communication bubble a little bit tighter, we gave our Brazilian phone numbers to the people that we wanted to have them, so not any old person that had our number could message us. We kept ourselves to ourselves, just focusing on enjoying the moment, relishing this opportunity, being and experiencing it together. So we come off social media, brilliant. We get out to Rio, and the BBC, love them, said that somebody in the team is going to write a social media blog. Now, had we not had these safe spaces, this ability to really talk and listen and share, whatever the situation, I think in past teams, this would have just been one of those things that would have niggled away. And it would have created a little bit of conversation maybe between a couple of roommates, and it might have been an apartment conversation over a cup of tea. And, it probably would have centred around this player who'd been chosen and why is she the favourite? We've all heard those conversations. We've all been part of those conversations. We've probably even started some of those conversations. And often they're left there and that's where it is. But I genuinely believe that as human beings, we're emotive creatures and we store some of this negative energy away. And when we least want it to or least expect it to, out this comes. And for us, that could be in the middle of a game. It could cost us a goal, a game, an Olympic medal. So actually, let's try and mitigate that. Let's just create as many opportunities as possible for people to talk and share. So every morning, without fail, we'd go to breakfast together. We'd sit on our table that we always sat on because sports people are superstitious. We'd come back, we'd do our stretches and our exercises, and then we'd sit in our circle as we always sat, so you can make eye contact with people when they're talking, so you're connected with them, that you're listening to them. And before I or another member of the leadership group could bring up this blog, one of the team members just put their hand up and said, you know what, I'm really not happy that this player has been chosen to write this blog. And we had a brilliant, very difficult, emotive, raw conversation in the circle. It was quite a big day. We had an Olympic match that day against Australia, first game of the Olympics. But yet here we were having this conversation and it was brilliant. And together we talked, openly debated and came up with a solution as a squad. And that for me was just the epitome of what we were about, of what we created. A safe space where everybody could talk, listen, be understood, and be the very best version of themselves for the good of that team, knowing that inevitably it would help us as a team be the success that we wanted to be. Thank you very much.